Hello, all my fellow doers. I could do anything, and today I could do a movie review on War Dogs. War Dog is an interesting tale, apparently based on a true story or true events on a group of friends who run an international arms dealing operation that is completely legal. Now, this takes place around 2002 to 2005 to 2007, I believe. That's the time period we're working in, right? It's a pretty interesting story with Jonah Hill and the other guy that I can't remember his dang name. I'm just gonna call him Fantastic Four Crappy Remake Guy, because that's what he was to my eyes. Now, his acting was pretty fine. Everybody's acting in the movie was pretty good, actually, and no complaints on the acting portion, I would say. Jonah Hill's laugh was hilarious on how terrible it was. Every time he would laugh, the crowd would laugh because it was so freaking stupid. Like his laugh was just crappy. That was just a happy little side note, I guess you could say. It was so bad of a laugh that it was funny, right? And that's what they were aiming for, you could tell, and that's what they got. Anyways, so it starts off with the main character going to his work, right? And he's dressed up. He's at a nice house. You're like, dang, this guy's oh, he's a massager. He's massaging old guys, old rich guys. Pretty crappy life, you know. He tells his life story with some expositional freaking dialogue, narration, and he's like, yeah, my life is pretty much crap, but it's gonna get greater. Just watch the movie. Pretty much what he says. He goes to a funeral. He finds Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill's one of his old friends, and he's like, "Hey, man, we were old friends back in the day. Let's, revisit that pathway and be cool together, be great together, be friendly together." Now, as the movie was progressing, I was asking myself the same question. In certain scenes, I was like, "Wait, this is based on a true story. How did they get these certain parts?" I was like, oh man, they're gonna get caught. They're gonna do an investigation. They're gonna find out what's happening, and that's how they pieced together the movie. And it was going on. There was nice cinematography, definitely nice acting. Everything was pretty good. The real complaints were some inconsistencies with cuts or certain scenes. Let's just give an example in which I could remember was when they let's just say there was like a piece of food that was eaten on one of the characters' plates. Then in the next cut it would be full again, and then the next would be empty, and it's like full, empty. Uh, uh, Inconsistencies. Come on, man. Like if you're freaking running a Hollywood movie with a big Hollywood budget, you gotta put some consistencies, man. Get the prop master to make sure everything's right in every cut and edit, or else it just looks a little distracting. But it didn't ruin the overall movie and the overall view of the movie. Like I said, everybody was performing well. I didn't like Jonah Hill's character, in which I was like, he's greedy. Now, why does he gotta be so greedy? Is it because he's Jewish? No, but he's greedy and he is Jewish. Whatever, he's just a greedy person. Because there were many Jew characters and they were not greedy at all. So I was like, okay, whatever. He's just greedy for the sake of being greedy. They're making millions of dollars, but he just wants more and more and more. And I can't help but kind of feel bad for the other main character, his Jonah Hill's best friend, apparently, who was getting screwed over for so much money. Now, they did agree on a 70-30. Jonah Hill would get 70% and the other guy would get 30%. He was still happy with this 30%. And I was like, okay, that's good. If they're both happy, that's all good. I wasn't saying the guy needed to get a backbone and freaking tell Jonah Hill, yeah, 50-50, because Jonah Hill had brought him into the world of arms dealing and getting him money and stuff like this. So the other main character kind of realized that. I was like, yeah, I'll be happy with, just 30%. And then one of the scenes, he's like, yeah, let's make this official. And Jonah Hill's, you could see it in his face. he just makes that type of face. And it's like, wow, he doesn't want to make this happen. But then he smiles and signs it. And then it makes me think of other scenes and scenes before in which were pretty greatly incorporated and were pretty great forms of dialogue. There was a scene where the main character that wasn't Jonah Hill, I can't remember his name, my bad. He was at a dinner table, with his soon to be wife, his girlfriend for now, right? And they're all eating and stuff. Jonah Hill knocks on the door. He walks in. He has a little funny part. It's pretty hilarious. Okay, and he does his little comedy act or whatever. But it gets serious. He's like, "Oh, we got to do this deal." We walk out. Boom, boom, boom. But before he walks in, he tells everybody, "Oh yeah, I'm working with Jonah Hill or whatever, right?" And the other guy is like, one of the girls is like, "Oh, he just, took 70 grand from his uncle." What? The main character says, and he's like, "No, no, no. Jonah Hill said the uncle took 70 grand from him." Because earlier in the movie, Jonah Hill comes up to him. He's like, "Yeah, I need a new partner because my uncle screwed me over for 70 grand, right?" So you're thinking, dang, he's just looking for a new partner. And then this girl's like, "Nah, Jonah Hill took 70 grand from his uncle." So you're just like, what? Like, did he take it? And then as the movie progresses, it doesn't explicitly say, yeah, Jonah Hill was the one that took 70 grand from his uncle. But because of his actions and what he does, you could clearly see that he is the one who had taken the 70 grand. You could see based on how his character is developed. It's not really developed because his character is consistent throughout the whole movie. But we are seeing it through the other main character's eyes. We're with him at the beginning. We're just like him. We're like, oh, happy that he's in this deal with Jonah Hill, happy that he's getting millions. But then as it progresses, we begin to realize, just as the main character realizes, that Jonah Hill is just taking money from him, or he wants to get more of a cut and he wants to get more money. And it's ruining not only the business, but the relationship. And as he begins to realize this, we realize this, and we want him to leave just as much as he wants to leave, which I think is a great part of writing. When you honestly feel for the main character or you feel in their shoes and certain opportunities or positions in which they're at, and you kind of feel for them. You kind of want him to get away from Jonah Hill because he's taking money and he's kind of crazy. He's freaking doing blow and banging girls and getting punched out in clubs and just doing crap with his life. And the other main character, he has a daughter and he has a wife now. And he's like, yeah, I gotta settle down, man. I gotta relax. I mean, I'm about to get $3 million. I think I could retire, just save up and invest, and I'll be great for the rest of my life. But Jonah Hill doesn't want him out. And so before he leaves, he's like, oh, this is the last deal, right? And he's like, yeah. They signed the contract. They're waiting on this huge, big deal. And they land millions and millions of dollars in this one job. Then this is where the problem happens. The job is supplying AK 47, 100 million rounds to the state, U.S. to U.S. government, right? And the U.S. military. They get them from some Ukrainian, Slovakian, some country near Russia. I can't remember the name particularly. They get the ammo, they look at it, it shoots, they're fine, boom, boom. As they're shipping everything out, they begin to realize, oh crap, it's China boxes. And then they're just like, dang it. And then we're thinking, what? Thankfully, there's some narration, I guess you could say, where it's just kind of exposition to let the people know that at this certain time there's an embargo act and China, America isn't taking any trades with China and stuff like this. And it's like, whoa, they can't deal that to America because if they do, that they would have to pay the taxes to China to ship this and blah blah too much. They would lose money and they just can't do it. So they get the idea, to repackage everything. It would be in boxes and lighter. The guy that's doing it is only asking for 100,000, and when they ask for 100,000, you don't get to realize, you're like, is that a good, is that a bad deal? They turn to each other. The narration happens again, which I think The narration usually in movies is distracting, but in this particular movie, in certain scenes, it does kind of help because it doesn't make throughout the movie it's not making you learn every single thing about arms dealing, but when it is important it will narrate something that is very interesting or something that'll help you, such as The Big Short, where you don't need to know everything about estates and selling in the market, housing market and stuff like this, but when it's very important it will, however, tell you directly what's happening and describe what something is through narration and through certain scenes, which I think is great, and this movie incorporates it very well. And as the movie continues, Jonah Hill freaking rips up the contract because I don't know why the freaking guy. If I was him, I would have took the dang contract. I would have took it with me because at this particular point, you could tell he's starting to trust Jonah Hill less, and that's why he wants it in the contract so it could be concrete. And then Jonah Hill just destroys it 'cause the smarty in his house wants the smarty wanted to have freaking the contract, right? Oh yeah, let me just leave it in my desk right here. If I was him, I would have put it in my house in like a safe or something. Like boom, it's like set in stone, it's concrete and stuff, right? Nope. So the guy has to leave because Jonah Hill hasn't. He has to leave the Slovakian country wherever he is near Russia, where the bullets are being packaged, repackaged, I guess, and he goes back to Miami, where they are Miami, which is where the movie takes place when it's in America. So he goes back to Miami and he's like, "Yo, let me just wire you the money." Yeah, but in reality, he needs to go talk to Jonah Hill and ask him why he hasn't wired the money and why they're losing so much money. And then Bradley Cooper comes in, does the scene where he breaks his nose and stuff like that. And he's like, "Yeah, I definitely need to talk to Jonah Hill now." So he talks to Jonah Hill, but then he's like, "Dang, I want out. Just give me this. This is freaking, 30% of our whole deal, and it's like 3 million, right?" So Jonah Hill's like, "Nah, you're gonna get zero." And then the guy's like, "Well, you're gonna hear him from my lawyer." He goes to his desk, and boom, the thing is gone. The freaking binding document showing that Jonah Hill would give him 30%. And he smiles, and the guy, he's like, "All right, I don't want anything, I'll get zero." Then it's like 3 months down the road. He's still living in the house. I'm like, whoa. He had an apartment in Miami, a condo. And yes, you could buy a condo, but you still have to pay for the space in which it's at. It's like a mobile home. You buy the mobile home, right? But you still have to pay for the space in which it is on. So it's kind of like you don't own it, I guess. So that's what it is. But he goes back to being a massage therapist, and I'm like, wait, in 3 months, how is he still able to keep up with this? Maybe he had some money, maybe he had kept it, maybe he's still living off of it. But even he took this huge pay cut from making millions of dollars to making whatever he was making being a massage therapist. I don't know why he's still living there. Yeah, whatever. It continues. Jonah Hill's inside the freaking. So he's leaving with his wife, right? He gets a phone call. It's from the New York Times talking about, oh, he's going to be under investigation. They want to get a story from him or whatever. And he's like, he just hangs up. He doesn't even talk. He goes into the elevator. There's Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill's talking. And he's like, yeah, you got a phone call too? Yeah, they're going to be starting an investigation. And then the guy punches him and he's like, oh, you never been my friend. You always lie about everything. You just want money, blah, 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 blah. As they leave the freaking elevators, boom, there's the FBI. Everybody, like all the freaking police, all of the cops, everybody. They capture them, and it's the final form of, I guess, narration where it turns out the other Jewish guy that was working with them, that was helping with the funding, had a wire. He took a deal, and he pretty much set Jonah Hill and them up to say crimes they committed, and then boom, it's like, dang, they're probably gonna get like life, probably like years. Nah, Jonah Hill gets what is it? I think 4 years, and the other main character 7 months house arrest. What? For all the illegal stuff that they had done, they only get what? How much? 7 months? 7 months on house arrest, which I think is a grand deal. But then once you think about it, I mean, they must have been very careful. The only thing they got them on is repackaging the certain items. and cooking the books in their company. Hmm. But I could have sworn that freaking, I could have sworn tax fraud alone could get you dang large time. But then once you think about it, you're just like, well, Jonah Hill technically did destroy the evidence showing that he was a partner inside the company owning 30%. So Jonah Hill kind of screwed himself over with that document because they could label him as being here, but he was just an accessory to most of the things because Jonah Hill was the big mastermind, which is why he got more time and he only got 7 months. Jonah Hill got like how many 4 years plus, and then the movie kind of ends. Bradley Cooper comes in for like a last very scene. He's like, "Yo, thanks for not talking about me during the testimony." And he's like, "I'm sorry, I kind of screwed you guys over by giving you Chinese rounds instead of this." He's like, "Oh, here's a briefcase full of money. Don't ask, just take. Boom, just be quiet." Then it ends, and I'm thinking, wait. Did he talk? How did they get this information? It's based on a true story, right? And I understand based on a true story literally means, oh, maybe these guys got arrested for this. Maybe a director went back and was like, "Oh, let's see important cases. Oh crap, these guys arrested for arms dealing by changing rounds that were Chinese and not paying certain taxes. Yeah, let's just create this whole story around this subject." Maybe that's what happened. But I was thinking, I was thinking at the end, I would rather watch a documentary about this than a movie. The movie was fine. Like I said, everything was fine. Acting was fine. Cinematography was fine, and everything else was rather fine. Actors were fine. Characters were fine. Dialogue was fine. Mm, but that's the movie in the end. Fine. It was a movie I would watch maybe one more time, but nothing too amazing or too grand. I would give this movie a 6 out of 10. I recommend you watch the movie if you just like interesting stories that are being told. Um, the based on true stories or true events or true ideas. I think that genre of movies is kind of like BS. That's their selling point. Oh yeah, this might have possibly happened to a person. Yes, here's this thing. Boom. Like, I just wonder how much research they really put into these characters and things like this. Um, Jonah Hill's acting, I didn't see his character that much. I saw Jonah Hill. Like, he just didn't sell me on being his character. I don't even remember his name. I just think of Jonah Hill. I'm not saying his acting was bad, but he was being Jonah Hill. Comedy relief for a serious movie. Kind of a douche. The antagonist of the movie, I guess you could say. But other than that, yeah, movie 6 out of 10. I would recommend watching it again. Maybe I might re-rate this higher once I watch it again and maybe do a more of a full review. But I could do anything, and today I did a short little review on War Dogs and what I thought about it. If you enjoyed the video, remember to subscribe to Grim A Do today. Like this. Comment down below what you want me to do next. I could do anything. I hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time. Bye bye.